Welcome back to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert here with my pal Susan. We are doing something for our good friends at Community Bridge, which I want to thank Community Bridge so much for sponsoring Thursday's Jam for Joy. Thursday's Jam for Joy is an improv session where the students lead the way. It's such an important training ground to take improv out of the safe, brave, wonderful space we commit to into life and things like what you do leading your group. Tell everybody about what you do at your group, Susan, because you lead a group.
Well, I am leading a group. It's important to me to add to that story that I so never saw myself as a leader or a performer or in front of anybody, to the extent that I was an English major in college, and I graduated in 73. And in those days, just about the only job for an English major was teaching, which absolutely terrified me, the idea of standing in front of a class, and journalism. And I didn't see that I instinctively had those skills. And so, so the idea of literally teaching a performance type of thing that terrified me was completely off of my radar, and not in any way, shape, or form did I even want to come join your class, because I just thought I don't want to do that. And here I am.
What a
Actually,
mistake that's turned out to be, huh?
yeah, man, that's for sure. Just met all these people who've done nothing but bring joy to my life and give me inspiration and hope and lots of other things. Uh, I'm wandering a little bit, Robert, and that's part of what happens these days. It's a little harder to coordinate my thoughts than they used to be. But the question you asked me, I will answer this way. The class that I teach, I'm teaching one class and involved in another one, other than the yes and exercise world. The one that I teach is all people with Parkinson's and their care partners. The games that I teach, that I bring to that, are straight out of yes and exercise, which to me, I don't have a huge background in or knowledge base in the various forms of improv, but what I know is what you teach, the way we learn in the yes and exercise uh, approach to improv. I think it's different than what is customarily taught. And so I do that. And then I'm also going to a class every single week to learn more about what this art form is. And at the age of 75, with this Parkinson's, situation, there are challenges that are coming in increasing surprising ways. And the thing that's the hardest for me is words. Like the most important thing to me is escaping me or getting tangled up. Um, I'm giving myself a chance. I was just so surprised at this, but to scare myself.
Yeah.
I, I do. Our
The
teacher is named Charlotte, and she'll say, "Okay, can we have a couple people come up here?" And I'll be like, "I'll stand up." And there I
yeah,
go.
I don't know what's about to happen, and
There
off
you
you
go.
go. And that's the nature of it is becoming more confident with stepping into the place of not knowing what's about to happen and going anyway. Um, so the Community Bridge, does this wonderful spotlight on a monthly basis to allow yes and exercise to present Jam for Joy. And one of the things I want to spotlight here, we're a little late for it this month, but we're still here and we're going to probably continue on, is this book. But it's called The Book of Questions, Living with Chronic Illness. And it is by Dr. Gregory Stock. Many people will probably remember the original Book of Questions back in the 1980s was a phenomenon, right? And a book that largely asked questions to get us in discussion, to get us thinking. And they were moralistic, philosophical types of questions. What would you do type of questions. And really, again, a phenomenal book. And I do hope someday we'll have Dr. Stock on the program. But for now, what we have is this new book, the version of it with the Living with Chronic Illness, a particular lens for the Book of Questions. And what we're going to do here today is we're going to ask some questions of each other as a person with Parkinson's, as a care partner to a person with Parkinson's. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the book here on the screen. We have I think the sample, which is like the first 6 questions or so, available by Amazon. Hey, get your copy, or other places that may be available. So what I'll do is I will start by asking you the first question we come across, and then you just answer as you see fit, okay? And then you can ask me question number 2. Sound fair?
Sounds scary.
Good. Yeah, I don't know what's about to happen.
I don't know what's about to happen.
It's like improv. Okay, here we go. Here's question number 1, and this is for you. Do you focus more on what you've gained as a result of illness and hardship, or on what you've lost?
Oh my gosh, that one's easy. For me, that one's easy. There's so much that's come my way that I was just sort of rambling on about. Opportunity, willing to take on things that felt risky or impossible before. I now have, I think, a greater sense of myself and my capacity. So I'm less intimidated, I'm less scared because I've been practicing being intimidated and being scared in the yes and exercise world.
Yeah.
Or on what I've lost. What I've lost um, is partly physical and partly mental and memory. And the truth, Robert, is that's so bloody scary that it doesn't serve me to spend much time there. So I do still wake up in joy every day, and I find it every day. So that one was easy.
Good. Well, I'm glad it was. And again, that it lands where it does with you. I just wanted to yes and one of the things you said, that, improv, because of the way you put it, can be like exposure therapy, right? Exposure therapy is about taking the thing that we are allergic to, fearful of, have whatever toxic response to, and taking small doses of it, safe doses of it, time to become better at it. So it is with improv and the idea of putting yourself into spaces where you're going to be seen not knowing what's happening. That's antithetical to Susan, previously. And now here you are through improv, putting yourself into places where you don't know what is about to happen, and finding joy in not knowing, and finding fear and fun living together.
And a lot of the reason I can do that is because you're the system that you've created is it's it's so much fun. If and this just happened the other day, somebody went, she was like looking for what she wanted to say, and you took her it was an alphabet game, and she was meant to be looking for a word that starts with a U,
Right.
and inadvertently she said a word that starts with a U, and you just gave her like credit, if you will, for it, and carried on to the next player. It was that kind of support
Yeah.
is just infinitely useful and fun.
There's a line I offer myself quite often in moments like that, and I think it has to do with grace or bliss, but it's sometimes I'm better than I think I am. That, and I think that accounts for all of us, that, we're constantly in that place of judgment and seeking and trying to be something, approvable by others. And it's like, you know what? The very thing you did was perfect. And you were walking right past it. Okay, there's a follow-up I actually saw to your number 1. I'm going to go back to this. So the second part of that first question, then you'll get to ask me the second one, is how might doing more of the other change your life? So what I heard you say was you focus more on the what you gained, but if you did focus more on the loss, how would that change your life?
It would give me more courage, because this is a bloody nasty diagnosis to get. I mean, if you look down the road, if you read the literature, if you whatever, it's not a pretty picture.
Right.
And if in the novel that I'm just finishing, I had a choice of how to wrap up the fact that my protagonist has Parkinson's. It doesn't go away in the novel. It doesn't go away in real life. I have to deal with it. So I think in the novel, the protagonist, who's kind of me, realizes near the end she's been denying it herself, even though she's having all the symptoms and whatever. And it's only when she goes all the way into it, and it's just really hard, deep truth for her to pull out,
Mm.
and for me to pull out. I friggin' have Parkinson's disease, and so the answer to that question, how am I doing more of focusing on what I've lost? I think it would give me more skills and
Yeah.
more foundation, more courage, more oomph to.
It it sounds like acceptance, and the way you
Yeah.
talked about doing it was through aesthetic distance, so you can depersonalize some of the decouple some of the personalization of this and say, if I can see Ellie go through with it, it makes me more courageous, more comfortable, more confident to go through it myself. Is that what I'm hearing?
It definitely is what you're hearing. And
Yeah.
Ellie is a creative manifestation from me. It's
Correct.
not like she's another real person that
Yeah.
I
She's
wish I
not
could
you, but she's
emulate.
from you. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. And that's the beauty of being an author. Okay. All right. You get to ask me. Can you read this okay if I scroll up?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, here you go. Number two, you get to ask me this question. Here it comes.
Okay.
Oh boy, it's gonna hit me. Go ahead.
If you had $25,000 to spend solely on easing the challenges in your life, what would you spend it on and why?
I mean, this is a perfect question for me, right? Because the financial challenges are some of the most dogged ones in my life. So $25,000 on easing the challenges in your life. I mean, my first thought goes to just having some relief from this constant monthly fundraising process we're into for survival for yaks. So that would buy us what 2.5 months, which is nice.
Mhm.
So but it says, what would you to spend solely on easing the challenges? Gosh, I'm trying to think if there's one thing I could spend on that would ease the challenges. I mean, part of me, honestly, I'd like to spend some on my wife. I'd like to spend some on my kids, because part of the challenge is, I think, helping them to accept that this is a real job, and to show them that there is, real financial gain. It's there. Obviously, I pay the monthly bills. We get along, but I strongly feel I deserve to do better than just get along with what we're doing. What we offer is worth more than that, and we're in the process of building that. And I feel comfortable saying that I think this day is coming, you know,
Mhm.
sooner than ever. So
So that maybe answers the second question. How much would the change mean to you?
it would mean a ton, because you and I have talked a lot about my one of my core issues is worthlessness, and worth in this capitalistic United States world is often tied directly to a dollar sign. So if I were able to check that box off and no longer make that a measuring stick for myself,
Yeah.
I can honestly, I feel the relief physically right here as I even say that.
Just
I
talking about it. Wow.
I think there's a radiance that I could become, that I could step into, a life that I could live more freely if I didn't feel burdened by that constant nag of worthlessness because of the financial evaluation of it.
It's as if it doesn't measure the right thing.
Yes, that you're right. That's exactly how it feels. That's how the world feels to me. It feels misaligned. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
how is that worth that, and how is that worth that, right?
And why isn't that
Worth,
valued at
yeah.
this?
Yes, yes, yes. These are huge questions. Okay, let's go on to you. Question number
Okay.
2 or 3 for you. It's 2 for you, but it's 3 overall.
Okay.
Has there been a time you felt really hurt by someone who didn't understand your illness? And if so, what enabled you to move on?
When I had cancer
Mm.
the first time, I did. I, I literally had friends who disappeared,
Uh,
and hurt was is probably the right description of how I felt. It was bewildering because so the majority of my friends were more present and offering more than I needed or whatever. And the absence, complete disappearance, shut down from one individual in particular, but a couple, maybe three. And eventually I understood that they felt threatened. Not that it was,
mm.
contagious, but not like that. But it was such a terrifying thought. And now that I have Parkinson's, now that I'm living with Parkinson's, um, I get it. The how the thought process can take hold, can take over, and again, it did in my character, my protagonist in my novel. It it takes over. So has there been a time I felt really hurt? Who and also it wasn't simply didn't understand, disappeared,
Yeah.
like didn't ask questions to satisfy the things that they didn't understand. They just went away.
Yeah.
Uh, and it really took me a long time. It took me, I'd say, a year to figure out, oh, wait, this is about them. This is about some broken part of them. It's not about how much they love me or don't love me. It's that they can't face it for some reason.
Yeah. That's big. And that idea, like you said, that's what enabled you to move on, accepting their response to what you were going through. In some sense, this is kind of like aesthetic distance, decoupling yourself from the illness as if you were the only person going through it. The care partner or friend or loved one goes through it in their own way. And sometimes it's a really messy misalignment about how they do, or the emotional response drives behavior that doesn't seem to add up until you do exactly what you said, which is go, oh, that's your response to this. And by the way, I'm not responsible for that. I may be hurt by it, but that's doesn't mean I'm responsible for it. I'm having my own journey with this thing.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well done, Susan. All right, we got time for one more. You get to ask me one more, and we're going to cap this thing for now. But I like this format, by the way. I think this is really cool.
It's very interesting, yes.
So, Dr. Gregory Stock, thumbs up. Great book. Here we go. This is my second question. Go ahead.
Do you lie to your doctors,
Hmm.
family, or caregivers about following through with treatments? Why?
I don't. For my dad as a caregiver, I don't lie to him, to either doctors, and that's my role right there. So I see this quite a bit, however, both in my dad and in participants in Yes and Exercise, where people talk about, being the heroic patient to put a shine on what they're doing, to somehow make the doctor feel good about the job they're doing, or get the pats on the back saying good job. Doris is written beautifully about that. I understand the human component to want to do that, to not want to accept the fullness of what's going on, and to possibly say I need help. I will say, not related to an illness, but just in my own deficits, perhaps with worthlessness, I at minimum do soft pedal, if not outright lie about my struggles at times. And our good friend Maureen, who was, I think, instrumental in helping us turn the corner last fall and winter when we had some really difficult challenges as an organization, all but forced me to say, you've got to say it out loud. You lost a $10,000 sponsor and it hurts. And guess what? People responded and then some. We came out stronger the other side. So I understand why one would, if you want to call it, lie. I do. I think it is beyond honesty is the best policy. It is acceptance is the path to freedom from, because that lie is corrosive. It'll beat you down. It'll make you think and feel you're something you're not. It's
uh,
it's it's really negative storytelling.
eats into itself.
Yeah.
Uh, your answers to that question don't uh, address the second question.
Go
So
ahead with the second
you're
part.
getting
Yeah.
you're getting a second question, honey.
Okay.
You're gonna have me say, okay, if you could have your doctor accurately monitor all of your health related activities, would you want that?
Yes, I'm a huge fan of having something, someone be able to accurately mirror, reflect what I'm not seeing. None of us can see ourselves clearly. We're all too caught in our own perspectives to see ourselves. That feeling of looking in the mirror and being surprised. Oh God, is that really what I look like? um, you know, but then take that internally, right? I mean, I've forever been in love with the idea of, I think, these wearable devices, from Apple watches to these rings to, things that are finding biometrics that can communicate directly with the doctor, to say, here's what's actually going on. And by the way, a broad picture as opposed to just a snapshot of when we show up and they do those things in the doctor's office. Because the notorious problem doctors have is people come and being false reporters, right?
What I didn't
They,
say.
yeah, what I didn't say, to quote our Matthew friend, right? But it's the same whether it's a food log or an activity log or anything else, a relationship log. Uh, we're all inaccurate reporters for various reasons. So to get a clear reflection, once again, I mean, I talk about the relief of that. I think it would allow me to step into full acceptance. And what it would require is that to be a trusted doctor, a trusted relationship, so that it wouldn't be that reflection wouldn't be handled with judgment, that it wouldn't be, what's wrong with you, that it would instead be, here's what it says. How do you feel about that?
Mhm.
And that, it would allow me to step into what might be things I didn't want to look at with greater clarity.
It would be inclusive if that
Right.
question or that fact were presented that way. It would be
Right.
wanting to include you.
Well, what it does in a nice way is, I see this in relationships all the time, is where it takes it off of the individual battle. My doctor said, and there's a blame for that. Or, this person told me, and it's like there's a blame for that. Or that stupid machine. It's like, no, this is now, it's just information. It doesn't have an emotion, it doesn't have a bias. If we can look at that and call that truth, what now we get to more accurately decide what we do with it, right? And then, face the consequences or reap the reward and benefit of what happens from that. You have a place to operate from that is agreed upon. And that to me is a very powerful thing. Well, I think we can agree upon this being a really fun thing.
I do too. I thank Community Bridge for many, many things, including this opportunity. Um, uh, I, I'd like for the listening world to understand what it means that Community Bridge came through when they did. Yes, and exercise has this much to offer the world
Right.
and this much opportunity right now. And that Thursday night jam that we do is designed to help get us more teachers. And we
Right.
have people showing up every Thursday who are slowly, like Russ and like me, tiptoeing into the world of teaching.
Yeah.
And we can continue to feel more and more confident to do that because Community Bridge has come through for us and said, I believe in this and I want this to grow and I'm going to help. So thank you.
Yeah. Yep, it's a huge yes, and we can't just hope that things, much as I believe in hope, will continue. We have to actively support them, and that's what they continue to do. And to all of you who want to be part of that, whether you want to join us on Tuesday or Thursday for the improv, or you want to become a member of the Sustainer Circle. That allows you to come to those classes at no additional charge, right? By joining the monthly Sustainer Circle. And there's a new benefit, by the way. We'll talk more about this later, but regarding Boys of Summer, the first two Boys of Summer films are now available on the website. They are there for a donation. However, if you're a member of the Sustainer Circle, that'll be part of your package. You can get the first two films as part of your sustaining membership. So again, thank you to the Community Bridge for helping to make this happen. Thank you, Dr. Gregory Stock, for the wonderful book and the jumping off point. And thank you all of our sustainers and those who are going to soon be sustainers to help make YACS, Yes and Exercise, something that can continue to, as Susan said, do this much for the world. That's what we want to happen. All right, take care.